This one is a viewer request. It's not available on any kind of tangible media, so I had to pull the episodes off the internet, so quality is going to vary. That's a full disclosure thing that's probably meaningless. One thing about these TV fails that we may have observed by now, there are a lot more of them than there are TV successes. The average viewer has no inkling of what goes on behind the scenes just to get a pilot filmed and hope somebody will buy it. And the process of getting somebody to buy it, let's put it this way, agents exist for a reason. If the average creative writer tried to navigate that swamp, either they would get eaten alive and make tons of money for everyone but themselves, or they'd give up and go sell insurance or something. Our show today is one of the many series that just didn't click with audiences. It was a mid-season replacement for another one that could fit in our category called TV 101. It went for 18 episodes, a whopping 5 more than this did. The show found itself opposite Unsolved Mysteries, which wasn't too awful bad, and Growing Pains, which was probably the main thing that had people not watching this. Could or should it have done better? Let's check it out. The ball grew and grew. When it reached full gestation, it opened like a spectacular flower, and quietly, gently, Epcot Center was born.
This is an outrage, an insult to the Grand Council. The accused is a menace and should be culled and destroyed.
You have forgotten that we made him what he is. A magnificent warrior who served us well in the Great Antarian conflict. We owe him and his kind much better than this.
Enough. The sentence must be carried out.
The too long didn't read version is, he's a super soldier that his people created for use in a specific war. Now that the war is over, they don't know what to do with him. The only thing he's good at is killing, but they frown on it when he does it to the locals.
Bring forth the prisoner. You stand convicted of violent offenses perpetrated against your fellow citizens.
They built themselves a cross between a predator and a Cyberman, trained him, sent him off to war, and now that he's home, they treat him like a criminal. Kind of like, no, we couldn't be talking about the soldiers who returned from, no, couldn't be, right?
You are exiled to this primitive world. Your sentence? To dwell among the dominant life form called humans.
Let's follow the guidelines here. We have the premise.
Doing penance by performing worthwhile tasks for them.
Next, we have the condition.
Your life essence to be manifested in human form can only be maintained by the crystal that you now wear. It must remain in your possession at all times.
Then we have the weakness, the vulnerable point that will help bring about conflict.
A correctional unit identified as Control has been assigned to you. Other than your initial orientation phase, its sole purpose is to provide a record of your behavior and is forbidden to provide assistance of any kind.
They have the technology to send him to Earth instantly. We'll learn that they have the ability to contact him and monitor things themselves, so what do they need that thing for? Because we're following a specific playbook here, and page 5 of that book says every protagonist has to have a sidekick. His just happens to be a talking, half-deflated rubber ball.
If his records indicate that your rebellious attitudes have changed, the Council may judge you worthy of returning home.
Well, how very gracious. Don't tell him exactly what he needs to do. Make it nice and vague, based on the whims of a collection of politicians who get their information from a glorified tape recorder.
Before sentence is passed, you will kneel before the Grand Council in humility. The sentence commences immediately.
Kneel on this. We have the full formula: protagonist unfairly sentenced, situation, weak point, sidekick, and ultimate goal. I'm sorry, but in 1989 it had already been done roughly 21,840 times. Books, magazines, films, even comics got in on the "oh, how horrible, I'm exiled to this hideous place called Earth" bandwagon. For a show like this to succeed, it has to have some kind of new hook, something that sets it apart from the crowd. So far, I'm not seeing anything. Now I'm seeing too much. This appeared during prime time, so I wonder how many parents with young children saw Martin Cove's bare butt and changed the channel. In Farscape, the first time Erin soon saw rain, she was equally fascinated. But she grew up on a spaceship, so it makes sense that she had never seen natural precipitation before. Our man here was a soldier who fought out in the open air, so why doesn't he recognize water? That lightning is saying, "Do not zoom out anymore." If that didn't make those parents change the channel, I'd be amazed and a little dismayed. I was mistaken. I described it as a half-deflated rubber ball because I hadn't seen it from the side. It's actually a large chili pepper with an eyeball. I regret the error.
Of all the despicable wastelands, and my first assignment, and you, what luck.
You little mutated ball of electrons.
Temper? Your life essence is too powerful for this human form. Oh, aptly demonstrated. An electrochemical multiphasic neuron response these creatures call pain.
He's a warrior. He fought in a war and he's never felt pain before. No wonder he didn't have any idea what happened the last time one of his enemies shot his foot off. The next couple of minutes will keep teasing us with a possible weenie shot while Control tells him things that the Council already told him about changing his ways and such.
Please follow. Although you can think and speak as they do, you know nothing of their world, their ideas, emotions, or motivations. You have much to do.
In other news, that rain is wet. He knows all this already.
Please follow. Inside. Oh, sorry. They're rather primitive here. Turn the mechanism below.
He didn't say which way to turn it. Control is playing with all the electrical stuff in the place, and he helps our hero find some overalls so he doesn't accidentally shut his whatchamadingy in the door. It shows him what a vehicle is and how it works, and more.
It's an information processing unit. Seems to be what this culture is all about. It's a record of their entire society. Watch and learn.
What was that Jesus said about the blind leading the blind? My family talks in movie and TV lines and song lyrics all the time, but we know that's what we're doing. Will he be able to determine the difference between information and entertainment? Without a court judgment, I mean.
I'm off to find the place they call Los Angeles, where we will establish you as quietly as possible. While I'm gone, please try to stay out of trouble.
When you're the hero in a story like this, trouble has a habit of finding you, but he'll do his best.
The car next to you, do you turn into a green-eyed monster? That is jealousy. My guests today say that jealousy and envy ruined many relationships with family members, with husbands, and with friends. My first guest, Matt.
Now this is more his kind of programming. He found a children's coloring book nearby and decided to keep it with him, but otherwise he'll just sit there and watch the information device.
Excuse me, but you seem to be in some position of authority here, and I was wondering if you might... give me a little advice. You see, I've just arrived here, and a rather delicate assignment, and I'm not sure of the proper protocol. Well, I can see we're not on the same wavelength.
Speaking of devices, comedy relief is one of the requisite devices a show like this has to use, whether it's funny or not.
Jesse, working late?
Subbed out of Mitch's a half an hour ago. Hit her with the spot. Door's been forced. 295 is Patrol 36. We have a 211 in progress. Gas station, frontage of Newman Road. Question the backup. We're investigating the premises now.
Well, he tried to stay out of trouble.
Get your hands up.
Yeah, that's it.
What the hell is that?
We call that a male human. You may have seen others of its kind elsewhere, like in your mirror, only with a slightly different build.
Get the shotgun.
This is the police. You there in the station? Come out of the door with your hands up.
Drop the gun, copper. The kid gets it.
What the hell's he saying?
I think he's got a hostage.
For a miracle, wash day whiteness. Try the magic of liquid blue.
Control should be proud. He's learned everything the information box could teach him.
Go away.
He's firing!
No, he's long gone, and you guys are destroying Jesse's service station.
I didn't do it. You gotta believe me. I'm innocent. You'll never take me alive, Copper. Don't shoot. I surrender. Oh. 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 Oh.
We wait for backup.
Solid plan, but by the time backup arrives, he won't be here. Control told him any creature could operate it, no matter how primitive. Looks like he was right, but he forgot something.
Hey, look at this.
What is it, Nelson?
I can't remember.
It's just as well. You could only have gotten a couple of bucks for it anyway.
Take it easy, Karen. We got all day.
Maybe you've got all day in that air-conditioned trailer. I would like to be out of here by 10, before my tires melt.
That's the life of a geologist, babe. Heat and dust.
You know what they say, geology rocks. Sorry about that. She's off to another site.
Come on, you old piece of junk. Just one more time. Come on.
Grind me a pound of hamburger while you're at it, please. Whoever is funding her project isn't doing a very good job of it. She can't call for help. That thing we saw fall out was her radio. Does she dare try to climb out?
Oh, no.
That would be no, she doesn't.
This is your fault. Where are you?
Something that's useful to know, he may not know what a road is for.
Charlie? Oh my God, no!
But it's a good thing he knows what brakes are for.
Where am I?
What? Can't you see that I need help here?
Where am I?
Oh God, are you going out of your mind?
Just answer his question and maybe he'll be inclined to save you.
Look, this Jeep is about to go. It's gonna fall at any second, so please help me now. Damn you, help me!
That's stable enough for her to climb over him to safety, but he's not done with it.
What are you doing? Please, let it go. It's a piece of junk. It's insured.
Doesn't matter, he's not done with it. Oh, yes, he is.
No.
Sorry what them Apaches done to your husband, ma'am. You better gather up your children and your belongings and come with.
I'd say he earned that. And when someone saves your life and then collapses in a heap, the least you can do is stay with him until he wakes up.
What happened?
You passed out. You were delirious. You said some very strange things. You must watch a lot of TV.
You have no idea. He needs to find control. He says he went looking for Los Angeles.
What is a Los Angeles?
Los Angeles? It's a city.
Where is the city, Los Angeles?
West of here, about 120 miles. On Interstate 10.
West?
That way.
I hope he's not planning to walk there. Her name is Karen, and she's already offered to have her friends take him wherever he needs to go. He's not listening.
You're not from around here, are you?
No. I am a visitor.
And by the way, his name is Jesse now because that's what it says on the overalls.
Look, I think you need a doctor. Now, my friends are going to be here soon, and there's a hospital nearby.
There is nothing you can do. There is very little time left. I need to find control.
What? Wait! I don't know who you are or where you're from or what's going on here, but you did save my life, and I owe you.
She must feel like she's letting a lost child keep wandering around.
I must be going crazy. Look, if you need someone, a friend in Los Angeles, this is my phone number.
I'm sorry you have to be so ugly.
I'm not sure how one should respond to such a statement. Is a simple backhand sufficient, or should she challenge him to a duel? Anybody got an etiquette book handy?
Well, next time I'll wear makeup.
Since we don't know what his people look like, you may need to hire a consultant.
No! The highway's that way!
Call it karma for that ugly comment. And by the way, if he heard you, he'd probably say, "What's a highway?"
Why couldn't you have stayed put, you insufferable lout? I should have known better than to trust you. When I find you,
I will subject you to some more low-budget matting, and then I will go flirt with a neon sign.
Suspect just went through a chicken ranch near Lancaster at high speed. 21 in pursuit.
Oh, an actual chicken ranch. I was afraid it was that place Dolly Parton ran once. We're touching on pop culture a little. From the moment C.W. McCall's hit song Convoy appeared, American driving life changed. Soon everybody had a CB radio, everybody was giving smoky reports, movies like Cannonball Run, series like BJ and the Bear. Running from those dumb cops to the sound of nifty music became a thing. In a show that, so far at least, is recycling old plots and ideas, it seems fitting. And by the way, Jesse has no idea what that sound is or why he should care.
Chopper's waiting on the roof, Captain Ralston.
Well, tell me.
He lost the sheriff, 2 of our units, and the highway patrol on the Hollywood freeway.
Hey.
We thought we had him cornered. Then he cut across 4 lanes of oncoming traffic, right through a fence and into the L.A. River. This guy is a real nutcase, Captain.
Then tell me something I don't know. Where is he now?
Still in the main channel, southbound, approaching downtown. 5 units in pursuit.
They'd like to find out where he's going and what he intends to do when he gets there. He'd like to know the same thing. By the way, anybody recognize Gordon from Sesame Street? There's no missing that smile, but we won't see it a lot today. Considering how many cars are following him now, Jesse has figured out that they want to stop him for whatever reason. The chase through the concrete channel they call the Los Angeles River is a fairly generic sequence. I do like the way it ends, though. In a typical chase of this kind, we'd have some kind of huge squishy splat into the mud and end up with both gentlemen covered in it. That soft little nudge that gently bumped them into the water was a nice variation that made me laugh.
Where the hell is he, Smitty?
He lost it here, ran up the bridge.
So's he armed?
As far as we can see, no. Thought we had a jumper, so we closed down the bridge. Now we can't get near him without him going nuts.
All right, release some of that traffic. Maybe we can distract this dude long enough for me to get close to him. And give me somebody from SWAT as a backup.
Hey.
You make sure everybody's ready to move on my signal.
Yes, sir.
Let me borrow that snub-nosed cannon of yours.
He's unarmed, but he drove like a maniac, which means you need a bigger gun. That's just basic logic. Meanwhile, Control has finally picked up the radio chatter and has a fair idea where his prisoner is.
Not here. I have survived the battlefields of Andarius. I will not die here.
Nobody said anything about dying, pal. Nobody's gonna hurt you, pal. It's all over now. We just want to help you.
Control, I know you're up there. You hear me? Damn your masters to the Nexus Bank.
He's really feeling the lack of the crystal. He's so weak he can barely stand.
Now!
However, there's his definition of weak and then there's ours. The two may have somewhat different connotations.
Call the Coast Guard. I want that ship stopped.
Go ahead, but he's not on it. Though he probably wishes he was.
The crystal.
Have you any idea of the trouble you've put me through? What a mess you've made of this entire situation?
Damn you. The crystal.
Directive number 1. A correctional unit shall never, under any circumstances, intercede with the activities of a correctional subject.
But he already has. He bamfed the crystal away from that cop and erased his memory, which is an act of interference. He says the penalty for getting involved is immediate destruction.
You fool. If I die, you will be terminated. Finished.
And it's all your fault. I'll be lucky to wind up tending an antimatter sample in Cracker 11. But if I see it's a Nexus Bank for sure. Oh, what a predicament.
It keeps saying this is all Jesse's fault, but he's the one who went off doing something else and has no idea how things came to this situation. If Jesse wants to get back at him a little, he should sit him down and try to explain it. Then enjoy watching the smoke pour out of that thing's orifices. He says, put the crystal on the beam up by my hand. That way I can get it, but you didn't give it to me. Since we're being bureaucrats about the whole thing, there's a nice legalistic way around the rule. Okay? Okay.
I couldn't escape from them. They were everywhere.
You're not supposed to escape. Why do you think you were sent here? Which brings us back to our predicament, since we are now partners.
Do not get any ideas about what happened back there.
You owed me one.
But don't you see? My success depends upon yours, and yours upon mine. If I'm ever to prove myself worthy, and you are ever to return home, we are going to have to help each other.
And what exactly does Control need help with? Whatever it is, Jesse isn't interested in rendering it.
Help you? I would rather live in the slime pits of Zartan than help you.
If you don't want my help, fine, but you have a sentence to serve, and you'd better start helping these creatures or you're finished.
He already did, or did you miss that part? Oh, right, you were gallivanting around LA and not recording. I'm afraid you've already failed your assignment, dude.
Until you're ready to come to your senses, don't expect any more heroics from me. For better or worse, your orientation is over. Welcome to planet Earth. Good luck!
And now he's going off to who knows where and continuing to not record. Did we just forget about that part of his assignment?
You see something you don't like? Do you, punk?
The thing about Martin Cove is he can pull that off. 6'1", shaped like a bodybuilder, and expert in multiple martial arts. He doesn't have to do anything to be intimidating except just stand there. Then again, a little pseudo Clint Eastwood helps too. He made his fame as John Kreese, the head of the rival dojo in the Karate Kid movies. I remember him from one of my favorite, really dumb movies, Death Race 2000. If you're not familiar with that movie, make sure you have a strong sense of the absurd before you watch it the first time. I'm working on a new feature, something along the lines of dumb movies I like anyway, and that one is on the list. It's way more imaginative than this series ever thought of being, at least so far.
That's on me, buddy.
Everything about the city has him mesmerized and fascinated. It makes me wonder what the cities look like on his planet and how boring they are. I also wonder if it's a custom in his world to just walk up and take somebody else's food. He realizes he's sort of not really underdressed, but a little inappropriately dressed, so he finds some new clothes. While it was already common on his planet, he didn't realize that cosplay hadn't caught on here yet. He has figured out that his brain is getting buried in all this new stuff. He needs help. When the lady is done, she drops a coin on the ground, but with this guy in the hat staring at her, she won't bother to pick it up. Now he knows how to call Karen at that number she gave him. And that points up a nice plot hole. He supposedly knows nothing about this world, which is why Control is supposed to guide him and get him settled. Who taught him English? Who taught him to read? How does he know what numbers are? I don't care who writes the story or what sorts of twists and turns they put in it. A story like this requires the protagonist to have at least a little prior knowledge. Explaining how he got it can go a long way toward helping us viewers suspend our disbelief. But we won't get any of that today. Karen is shocked to hear from him because there was a report on the news that he fell to his death from that bridge.
Jesse?
Karen, you said you would help me. I need help.
Well, yes, of course I'll help you. Where are you?
I'm with the telephones.
It'll take some serious cross-examination, but he finally spots a shop across the street called Chicken Boy. It has a statue of a man with a chicken's head on it. That's what she needs, and she's on her way. Another gag that's been done to death. He understands that those little pieces of metal are important, he just doesn't know why. Not your style, Jesse. A little too gaudy to go with the poncho. But he's content to stand there and watch all this.
I'm sorry. I was looking for the ladies' room.
It's right across.
He's going to see a lot more than he expected, too. This is bad.
Everybody freeze! Do what you're told. No one gets hurt. Up against the wall!
This is a well-coordinated operation, and it's going as smoothly as it possibly could. Correction, it was going that smoothly. Jesse isn't familiar with our ways, but he knows trouble when he sees it, and he knows he's supposed to help people who need it. By the time he was done with him, that manager was curled up in a corner in fetal position singing, "One little, two little, three little windows got to be replaced."
Let's get out of here! Go, go, go!
What happened? Where's Harry and Frank?
The guy's crazy! Get the hell out of here! Move, move, move!
You tear us apart! Drive, damn it!
As we might expect, a sharp corner throws him off.
You idiot! Turn around, it's a dead end!
Hey, you can't do that!
You just did.
You don't know how long I've waited for somebody to say that.
My God, what is he doing?
Ever hear of the caber toss? It's a sport in Scotland, and apparently on his planet.
Run him down! Run him down!
If that woman in the passenger seat isn't dead, I may quit watching right now. As for the rest of them, well, gentlemen, that's what you get for putting a bullet hole in his new hat. He doesn't want to be identified, and Karen gets there and spots him just in time.
Jesse! Jesse, wait! That's him! No!
Run, Jesse, run!
Should we be surprised that the flying poopy can stop time? Probably not. It's a typical only my insert name of ability needed here can save me now situation. Karen just missed him and she won't get another chance. So she got to play damsel in distress and that was it. She never actually did anything. That had to be a frustrating role. Marita Garrity is another of those solid character actors who make stuff like this work. I hope her other roles were more interesting.
Tough one to figure out, huh, Cap? That thing at the jewelry store. Was that weird or what?
Yeah, too weird. A lot of things don't make sense, Mikey. This guy, he's not your average psycho.
He's running from something, Captain.
I don't think this guy knows what he's running from. I tell you one thing. I don't think we've seen the last of this one.
No, we haven't. But we have seen the last of Captain Ralston. Like Karen, he's a one and done. Remember Manimal? How every episode we practically had a whole new cast? We're doing the same thing here, and it works about as well as it did with Manimal. Doing that and doing it right is an absolute booger to pull off, which is why nearly all of Hollywood's attempts to do it end in failure. You'd think after 120 years or so they'd figure it out, but so far... be a talking she can't call for help. The river in this kind we've had a strong sense. Yes.